Hi, this is Sugandhi Iyer for the Good Fortune Show. Welcome back. How are you doing? I know I'm asking you from here, and I know you can't really respond to me, but when I ask you, you could respond to yourself and tell yourself, how am I doing? I'm sorry, ask yourself, how am I doing? And give yourself the answer. And that is exactly how you're doing. That is exactly how you're doing. And then you decide you want to go ahead. How much do you need to go ahead? Things like that. Talking about good fortune. If you recall, I spoke a lot about going to forests and seeing elephants and deers and other wildlife. I spoke about it before. And for many years, I haven't gone to the local park where I live in the city that I live in. After many years, I happened to go there on the request of somebody. And we went there, and a huge number of elephants. Huge. Like they're just standing, it's a safari, so you drive through, correct? And they're just standing there, a huge number, doing their thing, eating, looking out at all of us. Oh my God. And it's as if the law of attraction increased the population of elephants because I have been noticing them, but I've been noticing them in the state that I normally go to. It's Tamil Nadu and in India, and there are forests, and we drive through natural environment. They're not safaris, they're real forests. And these guys hang around the elephants, or they take a walk because you'll be going around a hill in, with the hill that is in these forests, and they'll be walking down the hill. And then suddenly all the cars will make a U-turn as fast as they can. It's a very narrow hill, but they'll try. And then we'll start going down again, seeing this huge animal walking towards us. And so we'll somehow furtively turn around and go downhill again. Nobody wants to be caught with an elephant, right? On a narrow road on a hill. So some of the adventures. But then here in this park where I live, and we haven't been there for a bit, a sudden boom of elephants. Huge number. And I mean huge. And they're all standing there looking at us because we're passing by, of course. And it was so cute because this baby elephant, like really, really small elephant, was trying to get under the fence. So he put half of his body, like maybe 40%, until he reached the fattest part of his body. And then he couldn't anymore. So he was trying to get under the fence and escape. Maybe it was fun because they were all smiling, they were all happy. Elephants look like they're smiling, right? And this little guy was trying that, and his parents were standing there supervising him. And the fences are not electrified or whatever, right? They're normal fences with huge gaps in between. So the first fence from the ground, it's just a wire. And it wasn't a barbed wire, it was an ordinary wire. So the elephant was trying to get through, and he's so chubby. He's a baby. I mean, he's a small elephant, but he's still chubby because elephants are chubby. And he couldn't manage, and he kept trying. So it was more of a game for him because the other elephants, I mean, there was an open part of the fence a few feet away, wide enough for a huge elephant to walk through. So it wasn't that, they were completely jailed and he was trying to escape. But So a few feet away, a huge opening. The gate was open. The elephants, huge elephants, can just walk through it. They preferred standing there. They were getting fed. But this little one was trying his luck. You know, he was just trying to see if he could fit underneath. Now, to watch that, to actually see it with my baby blue eyes, which is actually baby black, to see it was amazing. It's just, how do you say, how do you express how a person feels when you see a plump little baby elephant trying to push from under the fence and trying to see if he can get out? And so playful of him, correct? This is not actually an escape because, like I said, a few feet away, the gate was open. Those guys could have walked in and walked out, but they preferred to be on that side and looking at us and all of this happening. And they were being fed with some lentil balls, like balls, huge balls, like each one could be a foot or half a foot in diameter, circumference, whatever. So they were being fed, and they add a lot of things to that, and then they make a ball right there, and then they give it to the elephant, and the elephant is chewing on it. He doesn't swallow it whole. He works on it. So this was a great sight to see. Oh, the law of attraction is working over here. Whatever I liked, where I used to travel and watch these, look at these elephants, it just increased in number here where I live. And then the person, remember, we went there because it was a request of somebody. It was somebody who lives down south in my state, where I'm supposed to originally be from, Tamil Nadu. Well, he wanted to come here and see actual lions and tigers, because where he is, he's too chicken to go into the forest there. So he wanted to see it, but in a controlled environment. So it was a special request. And we said, okay, so we brought him over and we treated him to all of this. And guess what? And this is as per the driver of the van, the AC van that took us. He said that all of these animals, literally that particular day, were hanging out on the road that the van was traveling. And he said it never happens, that they're busy hanging out. So they're basically walking in front of the van or, in that particular area. And so he ended up seeing all the animals that he wanted to see, the lions and the tigers and the leopards and the wild cows and huge number of deers. I've never seen so many deers and baby deers. Huge, thick population of all of these guys. And bears walking in front of the van in front of us. Like they were not sleeping somewhere, but they were busy walking. And the driver of the van said, this never happened. We've never seen this happen. So it was almost as if all the animals cooperated that day to give this person that we brought all the way from Tamil Nadu just to see this, because this was his wish. And it got fulfilled. And of course, he's got a camera full of stuff now. And to see that all of these animals put on a show for us. This is probably the best show we've ever seen. Lions walking in front of us, leopards hanging out, female lions, and then the white tiger also, along with the normal ones, the orange ones. They're all hanging out, walking around and easy access, and so many of them. And what happened, like so many animals showing us a good time. And this is as per the safari driver. He says this never happens. This never happens, according to him. And he's been working there for a very, very long time. So, first of all, law of attraction, what does it have to do here? One, we used to visit down, and not used to, we'll still continue going down there. And it's almost as if what we saw there got duplicated here, but in huge numbers. And then on top of that, the animals knowing that even the lions and tigers, and they're all very cooperative, putting on a great show for us, leopards, and they all seemed to know that this person that we brought wanted to see them. And obviously, we also wanted to see them. So they all seemed to know that. And they just came out and gave us such a good time. And wow, that is, first of all, the law of attraction working. It is good fortune working. And it's a lot of cooperation from a lot of levels of a lot of beings, whether in the form of a regular animal or whether in the form of a human. Everybody cooperated so well and put on this great show for us. And we just completely enjoyed ourselves, which reminds me, another indication of good fortune. I remember back in 2013 or 2014, I was here in India, and it was election time at that point. And the prime minister who got elected then, huge number of votes because of a huge amount of energy which I felt in the air. I could feel it. And I was actually feeling the energy. It was so thick and it was so vigorous. Because, okay, let me explain about energy. If energy is thin and light, and there is only a little flowing in the air, literally, and we are not mixing up air with energy. Air is air and energy is energy. And of course, it's still the energy is contained in the same space that the air is contained in. Okay, so it wasn't like it's windy and hence, a lot of air. No, it's energy. And I could feel it, huge amount of energy. And that day there was a huge increase in my business also. So it looks like my energy was connected to the energy of the business, okay, was connected to the energy of the election. And everything worked together, and obviously they won. They won. This was back in 2013 and 14, and I felt the energy in the air. It was palpable. It was palpable. And then I remember 2016? I don't know, when Trump got elected for the first time as president. I remember, and this was a non-political move from my side because I was, I'm really not thinking about politics in America. But I appreciated him because of, we went to the Trump casino, was it Taj or something, back in the East Coast, and then the Trump building in Las Vegas. And I remember going to the Trump building there and talking to those people and giving my book, Joyful Manifestation. And I said, please give it to Mr. Trump. And it was just a non-political move on my side. It was just out of pure friendliness, I think, and goodwill. And I gave it, and he won. And so what is this? These are all coincidences? No, there are waves of energy that happen. Is it triggered by us, or is it because it's in my reality that it's happening, and because of that I view it in my reality, and then it's a part of other people's reality? It really doesn't matter, but this is what I have seen, and this is what has happened in the past. And so when we are connected to joyful manifestation energy, and we are carriers of that energy, and we kind of support something, or we like it or something like that, then that can happen for us if we have goodwill and if we are coming from a good place. And so all of these things were non-political moves. It's just that at that point, I like this, or I like that, or I like this, or I like that. And then in my energy, certain things happen. And so these are things. And then when you go look at the animals and the trees, when we appreciate a lot of nature, when we keep seeking nature, nature duplicates itself. Wherever we go, it's almost like nature follows us, or these animals, they just get manifested out of nowhere because we like it, because we love it. So we come from the space of love, we like it, we love it, and then good fortune is flowing if we are carriers of that good fortune, and then good things start to happen for us or around us as per our likes. And to see all of these things happen, the animals coming right in front of us and walking in front of this van. Every breed, no, let me say this. I don't even know what word to use, but every type of animal over there, 2 or more of them. And of course, there were others, they were standing around. But 2 or more of each type of animal tried to, or was walking towards us, or tried to cross the path of the van, or hang around there and try to show us how beautiful it is. And it's maybe the love that they feel from us for them. It's maybe the love that they feel that, it's probably that love vibration, the vibration of love, which is what they say, correct? If you love God, he loves you back. Oh, I wanted to tell you one more thing talking about God. And remember, this is God as per your culture, whatever you believe in. So this is what happened. There is this particular God that we visit when we go to our state, Tamil Nadu. And he's there everywhere in that particular city. And we always go there to see him because, wow, we got introduced to him and then we see him and then we acknowledge him and we go pray or whatever it is. And then where we live, in the city that we live in, he's not there. He's not there anywhere around us. Nowhere. Then suddenly, out of the blue, a brand new temple next to the place that we live, the home that we have. A brand new temple housing this God got manifested suddenly. We didn't even know it was being built. And it's right next door, literally, to us. And this God now is in this temple, and this temple just got manifested overnight. I don't even know what happened. Maybe there is a time lapse there or something, and something happened that we suddenly noticed. There's a temple with this particular God, and he's right next to our building. And again, this is non-religious. You can replace this with any God that you like and that you prefer. But this is the experience that I had. And these are things that just manifest because of our desire, because of the happiness, because of our joy, because of our goodwill, and because of the good intentions that we have. And something that we didn't see before, like a day before, is suddenly standing there fully built, a whole temple. And it's not a small one. It's a good-sized temple with the whole, 9 yards, with everything that a temple needs. And that temple is standing there suddenly, and we didn't even know it. So what is this? How did that even happen? They do say that something comes out of nothing. I mean, normally they say nothing comes out of nothing, but here, something just suddenly came and manifested out of nothing. Just because I have a habit of going there, seeing it, worshiping there, loving him, the God, that particular God. I love many gods, but this is the really very strong guardian God. He's a very strong guardian God, correct? And he's now located right next to our home here. He has a temple there, and he's supposed to guard the whole place around him. The whole place around. And then, what else? Okay, so we were traveling, and there is this huge statue of Christ, Jesus Christ. And, I mean, this is real Jesus Christ. I'm not talking of a manifestation of a God or of our local gods, but we're talking of Jesus Christ. Huge statue. And when we see him, when we see the statue, it's huge. It's huge. I mean, 5 stories, 6 stories high, correct? Standing out there in the open. Hands open blessing. And when we see him, and this is where I'm saying religions are connected, because when we see him, and this just happened, we saw him And after we saw him, because we noticed him, right? Because he's in the front and he is standing at the side of a major highway. So because it's so huge and we've seen him before, and I always, say hi to him. Well, when I saw him, then what happened is our own God, 6 stories or 7 stories high, I see that behind him, located a few hundred feet away. So why is it that people think that if you like this, you can't like that? Or if you like that, you can't like this? No, I noticed Jesus Christ. And because I noticed Jesus Christ, because he was standing there right at the edge of the highway, correct? Because I saw him, then as I drove just a few feet, I saw the other God who is our God, right? Standing many hundred feet away. He's 6 to 7 stories high. So when we enter our city, there's a huge Jesus Christ statue standing on top of now he's not, this statue is on top of a building, putting his hands out blessing. And he's always blessing in the direction of the state Tamil Nadu. So he's blessing the people. His hands are outstretched towards Tamil Nadu. And when we go to Tamil Nadu and when we are coming back, he's blessing us. And then we're entering the city. So these are the things which I particularly notice, which I particularly am aligned to. And then I attract more of the same. I attract things which are in that line of energy. And you do know that, okay, let's think of God as a certain line of energy. A certain line of energy. With each God having his or her own vibration, correct? So it's a certain line of energy. And then there are other things which have different energies. So something which is really negative, like a very, very bad movie, has a very dark energy, frequency. So a God has a different frequency, and something else which is terrifying, like a horror movie, correct, has another frequency. Now, in God frequency, some other things happen. Certain things aligned with that God. And then in this energy, the lower dark frequency energy, in which horror movies and such things exist, including reptiles. And I've told you about the reptilians, right? So if you haven't heard about it, you can go back to a past show, and I've told you about that. They exist in this lower dark energy. And then, obviously, deers and cows and elephants, beautiful creatures, baby elephants, correct? They do not exist in this low dark energy. In this low dark energy, even lions and tigers do not exist in that. They have their own energy frequency, which is different from the elephants and the deers. But lions and tigers and such like have their own energy line, but this really low, very low vibration, that the reptilians exist in that energy, and then other horrible things that we don't even want to talk about, because many of us avoid that. You know, the dark alleys and all. It's kind of around that particular place. So when you're in God energy, and just because you're seeking God, once you started the work of seeking God, then God seeks you. We know that part now. We've spoken about it before. But once you succeed in getting into God energy, then whatever exists in the realm of God, in God's reality, now becomes accessible to you. You have access to that. like a gate just opened to Aladdin's cave. They had to say a certain mantra. Remember when certain words are uttered for Aladdin to enter that cave in which all of this gold and stuff exists? Something like that. So a certain world that is connected to God energy starts to open up. And then we enter that reality. And that is why the show is there. It's to get everybody into that reality of God. And not God in a religious way, where, everybody's fighting, but God in a good way. God in a great way. God in a nice way. And everything that God would represent. And then if you go to some other reality, for example, if somebody watches a lot of horror movies, what happens is that they get tuned to that frequency.